So a while back, I did a wheel swap on this car. I mentioned previously that these wheels came off of a 996 turbo. They fit right up, didn't have to alter anything. A lot of people had commented about they'll be too big, the balance won't be right, so forth and so on. It's a totally different car. The dimensions are different, certain dynamics are different, but for the most part, Porsche wheels are meant to maximize performance as you go up in the model line. So these came off of a turbo, but they still fit this car pretty well. They are a little bigger than what came on it. The backs are 10s, so it's got a really, really huge footprint at the back. The fronts are now pretty good size. They're not too huge. But what I've noticed in the difference between what's on there from original assembly and spec is that the ride is a lot more precise. The grip is way more pronounced. I can get the rear end to come out, but I have to induce that with some, some torques, but it sticks pretty hard. And I think that's a lot of the, I guess you could say, the reputation of Porsches being very volatile in terms of when their back end comes loose, they pretty much go wild. It's like a pendulum. And I think that's true. The rear end tries to stick so much, and you've got all that weight back there, that when it does come loose, it can be pretty violent. But I'm pretty pleased with the way that the car looks with this wheel setup. I do like the wider wheel, but for the most part, I love the way it looks. The drive is really good. The handling is really, really good. I dare to say the car looks phenomenal. You might or might not agree, but I think it looks phenomenal with these wheels. I don't think I went too far. I don't think I've taken away from the quality. It's a pretty good look. Like I said, the contact patch is mega. That wheel's nice and wide. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I haven't done anything else to the car. I don't want more power out of it. I don't want it lowered. I like the stance height. I think it looks nice and clean. So I'm happy with how it turned out. But like I said, the drive, the handle, everything about it is just pretty well balanced. Nothing bad to report at this stage. I've had the car now for a little over, I guess, a year and a half. You might have noticed as I was driving that there's a light that's on over here. It's a little circle with an exclamation point in it, and that light is indicating to me that there is a brake sensor that's worn low, so I need to change the brakes. I believe it's on the back brakes. It doesn't really squeak or anything, but just something that needs to get done. And since I don't drive it that much, it's not that big of a hindrance or concern. But overall, I mean, the wear and tear, hasn't had much. Still looks the way it did when it arrived at my house. One area I have noticed a lot more is this section here on the seat. It's just cracking a little bit more, and getting in and getting out, and it is old. I try to condition the seats and just keep them in as much tact as possible, but everything's working properly. Car still looks good. Got my gloves over here if I have to go get gas or touch anything. I'm gonna put my gloves on just to be precautionary. Everybody's still out. I noticed a lot of people still out and getting gas and doing their day-to-day. I haven't noticed a lot of slowing down in our communities, and people are still trying to live their lives. But in the midst of it, there's always something to enjoy, and I just thought this would be a good time for me to enjoy this car for the day and, hopefully bring something inspirational to you guys. Do what you got to do, man. Try to enjoy your life. That's pretty much it, man. There's nothing else really to report on the car. Like I said, it's been good. Drives great. Engine sounds phenomenal through the exhaust. I'm happy with it. It's been fun. So I'm taking this time to get out and one, get some fresh air, two, drive this car, and three, just to reflect on life in general. I'm not here to present to you some public service announcement or humanitarian effort, but in the wake of all that's going on in our human society as a whole, I think it's so easy to get wrapped up in everything that goes on around us, all the background noise, all the chaos, mass panic, and those types of things, and with fairly good reason. What we're facing right now, something that we've never encountered in this century. It's new, and everybody's trying to figure it out. one of the things that driving does for me is allows me to reflect, have some introspection, and just take in life as a whole. You know, there's a lot of beauty in our life, in our lives, but in life in general, that we just kind of forget and overlook. And it's only when you are faced with these challenges that you're able to slow down enough to really embrace it all. And as I've been driving and, you know, letting you guys just kind of see what I'm looking at, you know, I just kind of am reminded that, you know, the world we live in is a complex one, but there's beauty in all aspects of it. And just taking in the scenery and the natural environment, that which doesn't change no matter what our human existence goes through, helps me to remember that stuff. We have to slow down enough to think about those close to us. We have to slow down enough to realize what we have at our disposal and not be disposing of it. Take care. Show love, show empathy, kindness, so we can see each other through these times. I'm honored to have the privilege to share my life with you guys in terms of automotive, but we are all one nation. We're all one race. You got to preserve it and never forget the basics. All drive. Peace.